Hi, my name is Sidney and I play Alona, and this is what you missed in Season 2, Episode 36 of Edge of Legend. Coming back into reality from their experience as the gods at the beginning of time, our heroes begin to deliberate. They decide to get more information by reaching out to the storyteller once more. Their memories as these gods are still intact, but their minds are fighting some of the darker memories at the very, very beginning, around the time where they meet the older gods. This time is also referred to as the Forgotten Era, and only Lothier is able to remember those lost 15,000 years. In an attempt to test their connection with the gods that they embodied for the better part of a millennia, Alona attempts to summon Hamasa. Hamasa, who is the goddess of rest in death, informs the party how they were all co-pilots with the gods. She confirmed that the gods were happy with them and working with them for such a long period of time, and that Adaraya in particular is proud of Lothier's heart. After conversing with Hamasa, the party decides to leave the margins and comes back to the disrupted ritual in New Jack City. Agent Pulver takes control of the scene and begins arresting ritual participants. The group decides to interrogate the one reckoner who immediately gave up and has been smoking a cigarette in the corner in protest. From the accent, they can tell right away that he's from Theramis, an escaped citizen that decided to work with the Reckoners. After speaking with him for a while, the group decides to have him be a double agent in the Bureau and for the Reckoners, the assassin group, and they convince Agent Pulver that it would be in their best interest to move forward with that as an option. In exchange for his immunity, the Reckoner that is now a double agent also gives up the location of all of the hideouts that the Reckoners have in New Jack City. Before the party leaves New Jack City, they decide to go to the library, and Alona decides to look up any information that they have on Dragon's Grave. So they discover that the city started at the end of the Great Dragon War, and it was built as a monument to the dragons and the humans that were slain. The city all of a sudden came to be. It wasn't built. The iconography is said to be draconic. The interesting thing is that sometimes the city disappears. When it disappears, there is like a gigantic crater that's left in its wake, which kind of alludes to the fact that there might be a gigantic underground subsection that nobody knows about, but no one knows why the city disappears. Shionibis also does research in the library, mainly centering around Leofer, who she was, of course, in the past, better part of a millennia, co-piloting. So apparently Leofer gave the Astrogenicon to a mortal, which it killed because the information was too much. Leofer is in fact looking for the Astrogenicon, but her disciples split it up for mortals to digest, and it is said and discovered that the only mortal that can read the Astrogenicon is Isowo. After they discover all of this in the library, the party decides to go to a toy store to pick up a toy for Joey, who, fun fact, still exists. In case all of you forgot, Joey was the child that we interacted with in Season 1 that just kind of came out of nowhere and we kind of adopted and has been kind of hanging out with Morel's sister ever since. After they finish their business in New Jack City, Agent Pulver escorts them out, and they begin their trek to Dragon's Grave. They get close to the city before camping for the night, and Shionibis and Tobias discuss his time stuck in the world of dreams and nightmares, and just how bad it really was. As they camp out, Shionibis and Tobias take the first watch, in which Shionibis talks with Tobias about his time in the embodiment of Shah, and just how bad the world of dreams and nightmares truly was. They also talk briefly about Tobias's non-existent relationship with Hera, their half-orc friend that they were traveling a lot with in the beginning of their journey, and how she hasn't been responding to any of his letters, and in that, Shionibis comforts him, offering him someone to talk to, for Tobias most of the time doesn't feel like he can talk to anyone, and neither does Shionibis. On the next shift, Lothier and Shionibis discuss plants and talking rocks as a really adorable, cute little catch-up. And then the shift after that is Alona and Morel. And during this shift, there is a development between the two of them. Ilona confronts Morel gently about what he said when he was caught in the zone of truth when assassins were attacking them a few days ago, when he said that he loved her and she asked if it was real. And he confirmed it, and that's when they share a beautiful first kiss and they profess their love to each other, and it is beautiful and awkward, as both of them have proven to be. The next day, Sionibus attempts to raise the veil of the Duat and finds many, many spirits wandering, but the one that sees her and approaches her is named Predidamat, who is the son of Koramat, who died in the final days of the Dragon War. Sionibus discovers that all of the spirits that she sees are stuck in between death realms with no conception of how to get to where they need to go in order to rest. But Sionibus lifts the Duat and walks back to camp, where she sits down to breakfast with Ilona and her talking about love. It's a cute little bonding moment where Sionibus and Ilona share a little bit of tenderness in regards to their relationships, though Ilona still doesn't say anything about what happened last night. Though we hear from off in the distance, "You think they what?" as Dragon, quickly followed by Lothier, who apparently has surmised, because he was in the body of Adaraya, that something has changed between Morel and Ilona, and Dragon, excitedly determined, runs into camp. And that's what you need to know from Season 2, Episode 36 of Edge of Legend. Be sure to tune in Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, to the Nat 20 Productions official channel on Twitch to catch the newest episodes of Edge of Legend as they happen. We look forward to seeing you in chat as you become legends right alongside us. Thanks for watching!